All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this magical world of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on Friday. So, how is everybody doing? I hope hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining me here on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to just have a conversation based on the journey, the metaphysical, the spiritual, the physical, the chaos that's in our world and everything in between, if you will. So let me just get over to the Facebook page. Good morning to my team. Good morning to my subscribers, both my Patreon. If you're joining us through Meetup, welcome. Sorry, I got a little frog in my throat today from screaming at last night's hockey game. So go Kraken. But want to just say thank you to my subscribers, my Patreon prospectors, my Diamond Hub subscribers, anybody coming in through Meetup. Welcome. We're just going to take the next few minutes just to have a discussion about ghosts, spirits, and the incarnate versus the decarnate, and also talk about the afterlife. My experiences that I can actually talk to and have known for many, many years, both as an experiencer, as a intuitive prospector, as a researcher, looking at the science of it, the logic of it, the history of it, and just the curiosity of it, right? So I do want to say today's music's artist was called Bebox by Hyper Brat by Bebox. So all the music that I play in my shows are always trademark free, royalty free. I have a sound collection approved by the Meta Facebook platform. So I always like to give credit where credit is due. So again, if you haven't subscribed, you can learn more about what I'm doing right here at marclainhart.com. You can also, I will be doing my first public event tomorrow. Since my life-changing, career-changing surgery that I had 6 months ago. I am fully recovered now. I mean, I'll still have, issues for the rest of my life, but as far as the surgeon goes, very successful surgery with the future of having another back surgery. I've got a bone spur and some other stuff going on that I'm gonna have to deal with at a later time. But the last 6 months has been quite transformational, and we talk about that in the journey, the ascension, the awakening, the transformation. Literally, 55 pounds lighter now. Healed back, surgery, and going to be doing more of this full time. So I was called to do this by the spirit world. They wanted me to be more involved, not just with the shows, but writing, working on my second book. You can get this book in between worlds if you want, but also writing articles, doing more readings. But tomorrow I'm going to be back for the first time this year at it's called the Conscious Wellness Expo and Gym Show. It's a great event. Tons and tons of vendors. I've been doing it for years, and I was supposed to do it in the spring, but like I said, I had my surgery, and so I couldn't. So they pushed me to October. And usually I'm a guest speaker, but because of the logistics, I didn't get my stuff in on time, so I won't be speaking this year. But what's going to be different is I'll be in my same booth. For those of you that are local, it's at the Kent Commons in Kent, Washington. The opening time is we start at 10 a.m. There's also a psychic panel where you can ask, intuitives and psychics and empath and healers and mediums questions about this world. I don't know if I'll be sitting on that or not. There's one Saturday morning and Sunday. Sometimes it ends up being more people on the panel than in the audience. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of, a little bit different there. But I will be at my normal booth, and you can just look for. I'll be on the west end wall. You'll see a big banner of me, and what I'm going to be doing this year is I'm going to be doing not just consults and readings, but I'm going to be offering healings. Something that I've been working with the sound, the vibration, the frequency, the auric field, the energy. And so I'll be offering those as well. So healings and readings for Saturday and Sunday. We open at 10 a.m. We'll go till 6 o'clock. And then Sunday, I think it's 10 a.m. again till 5 o'clock. But you can go right to my events page here at marclainhart.com and get all that information. Love to see you. Even if you don't need a reading or a healing, stop by, say hi, get a quick hug, I'm pretty busy, so don't, if I'm with a reading, still wave at me, give me a little wave, because I usually book out both days throughout the entire day. So looking forward to that. But I'm back doing this work, and I'm very excited for that. So let me get over to the Facebook page, say good morning to some of you that are joining us today. And again, thanks for being here. I know there's a lot going on in our world. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of anxiety, especially here in the United States, with just everything that's going on. And what I'm seeing from this, and I'll talk about this, and then we'll get into the topic, and then we'll do some readings. And you'll all be happy that I did bring my phone this time, so I do have my business line. I finally remembered, and I'll put the Zoom link and also the let me just do that now so we can have that information if my team wants to grab that. They can. So we'll go over to Facebook. But I do have my phone, so if you want to call in, you can Zoom in for readings. I'd love for you to Zoom in, or you can ask comments in the comment section, and we can do some card reading. So another musical instrument I'm learning, getting pretty good. Sedula and my guitar. I don't know if this comes through. So right. Okay. So let's get over to the Facebook page. But this morning, I wanted to talk about, because this topic, I wasn't at my group on Wednesday, and I went back and watched the replay, and this came up in a Q&A. So sometimes in my development group, which isn't open to the public, my students from around the world, literally, get together on Wednesdays, and we practice spiritual development. So the spiritual development, called SDG, has been going for almost 9 years strong now. And we practice the modalities of spiritualism. So it's spiritual development because it's not just focused on mediumship. It's not focused on psychic. It's not focused on healing. It's all of it. It encompasses all the tools that go into the toolbox, which strengthens your core area. So for example, if you're really wanting to work on your mediumship and your relationship with what is unseen in the spirit world, we do exercises, and we have Q&A where people are asking questions. Well, what is your perspective? What is that perspective? And so they were asking about this last week while I was gone. They were asking about, what is the difference between a ghost and a spirit? And so I thought I would talk about that today, because there's different definitions, and over time I've learned to come to understand. I didn't know the difference when I first started on this journey years ago. I didn't understand the journey of what a ghost was compared to a communicated, intelligent communication, if you will, right? And over time and through training and through education and through good mentors, they've taught me the difference of what those are and what those mean. Now, I can tell you, I wasn't always a believer in ghosts. I did have a few experiences when I was a little boy, but I didn't know. My family did not dabble in paranormal, didn't dabble in spiritualism. Actually, quite very Catholic religion that just for me, I did not ever resonate towards, um, and really kind of force fed that kind of doctrine, if you will. But I had experiences as a little boy, but I didn't know that I was actually seeing people that had passed over. So I laid dormant, that this ability lay dormant for many, many years, especially as I got older. And it was only through great trauma and tragedy, through just a tremendous amount of loss in my family, that I came back at the age of 27 and really started to examine, explore, reopen, and reevaluate my journey of life. And so when I would see ghosts as a little boy, I just didn't really pay attention to it, and I didn't talk to anybody about it, right? So my first adult experience was when I was at my first Coast Guard station, which is down south of me here in Washington State, called the Pacific Northwest. And it's where the Columbia River empties into the Pacific Ocean, and it's literally called the Graveyard of the Pacific because it's the second most dangerous bar crossing for boats in the world, second to Cape Horn, Africa. And I'm sure throughout history you've heard about getting around the Horn of Africa, how dangerous and treacherous it is. So this is called the Graveyard of the Pacific, and there, in recorded history, there's been over 800 lives lost and thousands and thousands of boats that have gone down because of just Mother Nature's chaos with a big river emptying into the Pacific Ocean. And I was at a school there called the National Motor Lifeboat School, the U.S. Coast Guard. It's the only kind in the world that actually trains drivers from around the world, Canada, France, Great Britain, to come to these conditions to learn how to drive the boats. And so I was stationed there for 3 years, and that was my very first experience, probably why I had to have back surgery, my first experience with the U.S. Coast Guard. And we would always talk about the lady in white, seeing this lady in white. And, I didn't really, I thought it was just kind of more of like the new guy, kind of station jokes and teasing and, kind of, getting at me. And I didn't really think it was a real thing. And I had been stationed there for about a year before my first occurrence happened. And I had just gotten off I was helping with Radio Watch at the station. That's where we listen for the radio for any maydays, and then we can dispatch the boats. It's called a SAR alarm, search and rescue alarm, and it gets dispatched out. And I got off watch, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, give or take. It was early in the morning, and I was walking back to my dorm room, and there was a long hallway with all of us that are stationed there. There's dorms. It's just like college. You got your own dorm room, your own bathroom. It was really, really sweet, actually. Great conditions, great facilities. And as I was walking down my room, at the very end, I see this lady in full white, just like my mug, full white, just full white. And she walks by at the end of the hallway. Now that's something scary as hell out of a Hollywood movie, right? You're like, what the hell did I just see? And so I walked down to into the hallway, and there was, on either side, there was nothing. But I had seen the lady in white with my own physical eye, and that was my first experience. Then that same night, when I went to bed, my bed would back up to the door of the bathroom, or the wall to the bathroom. The door is right here. And then as I laid down in bed, all of a sudden my door, and had never done that since I'd been there, slams, boom, sat straight up. Like, okay, what the heck was that? No wind. Tried to debunk it. The windows weren't open. Nothing. And then after that, that's my experiences started to build on that. And that's where I was seeing a ghost. Now, what is the difference of a ghost compared to what I do as a medium, and what I talk to people that are incarnate, have decarnated from the incarnate form through death, but are still very much alive through memory, through love, through mannerisms. And there is a big difference between the two, because what I was seeing, supposedly, before folklore, which a lot of ghosts are passed through storytelling and folklore, she was a widow that threw herself off the cliffs of Cape Disappointment because her great love never returned from the sea. So the classic, the widow waiting on the cliffs, waiting for her love to return, who never would. And so it would be a few months later that I'd be down in the boathouse, because I'd be volunteering for Station Cape Disappointment, because we didn't have to pull duty with the Moore Lifeboat School. So I would offer to be part of the boat crew and get that experience. We'd be down to the boathouse, which is down by the dock. So the station would be way up here. The school is way over here, and it's right on, literally on this peninsula of the Columbia River that empties in the Pacific Northwest. And so the boathouse would actually be stationed closer, where the SAR alarm would go off. We would wake up, get out of our beds, run down the dock, grab our gear, get the boats lit, and get them going. And literally, it's just location, right? Location, location, location. And so, in the boathouse, she would show up a lot. She would stand at the foot of your bed. Now, I know that sounds scary. If you wake up and, there was almost that paralysis, like I couldn't move. My covers were tight, and she would stand at the foot of your bed staring at you. But never conversed, never interacted with me, never said words, never, but just had that presence and that awareness. And it scared the crap out of me, man. It really did. It was like, you just wouldn't move. So you just close your eyes and go to your happy place, right? But as I learned, she was probably just more of a residual energy, a memory of probably standing in the boathouse, because maybe that's where she stood before the Coast Guard station was ever built, right? So land and memories hold space when it comes to ghosts. So this morning, I'm sorry, I meant to go over to Facebook and put some links here, so bear with me. Today we're going to be talking about ghosts, spirits, and it's October, right? Halloween is just right around the corner, a few weeks away, so why not? So let's go. Look for my I'll put my avatar that says hi, and I'll put the link in for Zoom. There we go. Business line. And don't call me yet, or come in yet until I open everything up, please. Okay, so we got the Zoom link out there. So if my team, if you're on today, if you could grab that, if anybody's asking, that would be fantastic. Hi, Nancy. Good to see you. What are you saying? Teaching how to be medium. I have misgivings about that. Yeah, there is. I think mediumship is a long journey, to be honest with you, Nancy. But she was saying so many just teaching on how to be a medium. I have misgivings about that. And you should. That's your perspective. I see a lot of, hi, Kara. Happy Friday to you, my friend. There's a lot of teaching out there. And I've actually kind of pulled back from my teachings on mediumship. But to be fair, I've also been studying mediumship since I turned 27. I'm heading for 53. So I've been studying mediumship, and there's so much that I don't know. I've gone to the college many, many times for the last decade. I've studied with some of the greatest mediums of our time, who are no longer with us, and have done a lot of papers on the subject and accreditations and actual divine services. So a lot of experience with mediumship. And I agree with you, Nancy. I find that a lot of people get out there, they've had 1 or 2 mediumship readings, they hang their shingle, and all of a sudden they're a professional medium. And I think that it's a long journey for this, my friends. 2 of the things that I teach on in my group is trust and patience. Patience takes time to develop these core modalities of mediumship. But you got to remember too, Nancy, there's a lot of people out there for the wrong reasons of doing mediumship. You got to remember, I didn't get into mediumship. I didn't choose mediumship. Mediumship chose me. I didn't always believe in this, just like I didn't believe in ghosts and spirits and the incarnate. But my experiences of, even though tragic, opened me up to want to prospect and to study for these metaphysical modalities, if you will. And so for me, I've been studying for years, and there's still so much need to learn about. So hi, Alma. I see you in the waiting room. I will be opening the room, just not yet, because I want to get through some of the topics of what today's topics are, and then we can do readings and discussions and Q&A. But my group was talking about this. I went back and watched the Zoom recording. And in group, we have Q&A to ask these questions. And so when we start outlining the differences between what a spirit is, and what a ghost is, and what an incarnate being is, and what a decarnate being is, take the perspective of Hollywood movies out, right? Like, I get teased by my good friends. I've been friends with my buddies for over 30 years, all the way from high school. And they always tease me, I see dead people, right? Even last night at the hockey game, they sent a text. We have a group text, and I was with one of my friends, and one of my buddies responded, with a picture of me, I see dead people, right? And it's totally fine, because it's true. I don't see them here. I don't objectively see them. I subjectively feel them and become aware of their presence. Now, some of you may actually, in the movie The Sixth Sense, he did see him with his objective eye. I very rarely, I can say probably 10 times that I've actually seen them objectively, and I work more subjectively with my subconscious, my clairvoyance, my clairsentience, my claircognizance, and all the tools that you all have, if you choose to prospect and open those up. So a ghost is usually a lingering essence of a deceased person, often tied to specific locations or events. Now, why is that? Specific locations and events, because usually there's some sort of trauma that holds that energy. So I always tell people it's like a record playing. Don't get into the whole Hollywood movie scene, because I haven't found ghosts can be scary because what we don't understand leads us right to fear, right? Or that Hollywood movie or learned behavior or religion that you were brought up in. Try not to do that, because all you're doing is tapping into history's past, like a record that plays. It's called residual energy that sticks like a portal that stays, and it's usually a ghost is associated with the Lady in White with Cape Disappointment. Certain places around the world, Gettysburg comes to mind. Certain places in Ireland, certain places in England. These seem to have specific events or locations tied to the ghost energy. And so the ghost energy is usually if there's something bad that happened, or like the Lady in White who threw herself off the cliffs, um, that energy stays there. And so she's not still here, but her residual energy of who she was, because it was so tragic. And the land, Mother Earth, who is very much alive, can hold on to that energy, that location, and that event. So that's why you usually find ghosts tied to locations or certain events, especially if there were, mass murder or just something horrible that would open up some kind of that portal to hold that ghost walking around. Now, what's different between a ghost and a spirit is a spirit is a broader term that can refer to the essence of a soul or a living or deceased being, including non-human entities. Now, what do I mean by that? Non-human entities. As we get into moving into a fourth dimensional construct, that's why everything in society is so up in upheaval, divide, politics, war, because we're shifting from an ego standpoint. And if I have the slide, I'll share it with you. We're shifting from a three-dimensional construct into a fourth dimensional construct. And so if you're not familiar with those terms, you're not even aware of what the hell I'm talking about, grab your coffee and let's sit down and have a chat. Because the spiritual is based on vibration. The spiritual is based on energy. And if we think that, including non-human entities, that means that they're farther evolved in us, and that means that their energy is probably different. So they may not actually have I think some do have organic body, flesh, or not flesh, but have organic bodies. But I also believe that some of these non-human, you can call them extraterrestrial entities, is sorry. So hold off on the questions, Alma. I'll get to you, my friend. I'm not taking questions yet. So hold off on the Zoom room, hold off on the call. And then when I open that up, you'll be more than welcome to come in and have a chat. But the spirit entity is usually a broader term. And so some of you know it as heaven, some of you know it as the afterlife, some of you know it as, some may believe in hell. That's fine. I work with everybody from true agnostic to atheist to full believers, everything in between, the smorgasbord of what I do, right? But the afterlife, what I call the afterlife or Summerland, is the concept of a continued existence following the physical death, encompassing various beliefs about what happens to the soul. So when you decarnate, you're in an incarnate physical form. When you decarnate, that means that if I was to die right here, hopefully that's not the case, what would happen is my physical body and the vibration in my heart would stop, and that vibration then starts to move out. So my body would actually slump over. I would actually just become literally dead weight. That's why we say dead weight, because there's nothing left in the skeleton after that surgery. That would be a waste, right? To be like, damn it, I just had this surgery. But the physical body falls away, and you would see, if you could see with the open third eye, what you would see is you would see my decarnated auric form and energy stand straight up and move to this new location called the afterlife, the Summerland, heaven. I always say that heaven is not a location, because we're believed to go up and down, but we're on a round planet. So we can't physically go up or down because we're on a round planet going around a big ball of fire in the universe that's mathematically incomprehensible. We can't and I'll be talking about this on my podcast next week. Um, Drake's Drake spheres, the Drake equation, and I'm sorry, the Drake equation, Earth 2.0, and something spheres. You have to tune in for that podcast, Inspired Living. I'm putting the show together as we speak. But I always say that we're on a round planet, so there is no up or down. Now we have the perception that we go up because when we leave our body, we ascend up, right? We move up out of this vibration. And what happens is you move to the afterlife, you move to heaven. I believe that hell is right here. I don't believe that there is a heaven and hell, and if you're bad enough, you go down, which I was taught to believe for many, many years, which through religion at some point to me became a part of an abuse, right? Emotional abuse, psychological abuse, because if you're not good enough, you're going to go to hell. It's a scare tactic, right? And I never agreed with that. I didn't believe that God would be that cruel, right? And so what happens is you move to your next, what I call soul adventure. You move to, learn and still progressing what this life experience was for you. We talk about reincarnation all the time. The top 10 religions around the world that we have studied in group mention in their writings and in their doctrines reincarnation. So do we get a choice to come back, right? Some would say the light at the end of the tunnel is us popping out again, right? Birth, right? So it really is just, you have to decide where that falls for you. But I always say that heaven isn't no longer a location. It's not this big cloud up in the sky with big pearly gates. It's a vibration. And that vibration, everything has to return to source. Energy, the laws of physics teach us that. Metaphysics teach us that. The energy that makes your heart go has to move back to its source. The question is, what is your perspective of the source and what is your perspective of God? I don't try to tell people that, but I do know there is a next connection from personal experiences. So what happens in the afterlife, again, it's the concept of a continued existence following physical death, encompassing various beliefs from around the world, wherever you were raised and born and raised with, and what you worship. But it's also about what happens to the soul. And so, we talk about this, what happens to people that commit suicide, right? There's a gentleman, I've had that personal experience a few times of suicide, and it's horrible. It's tragic. It covers the range of emotions, both family and friends. But we talk about that, like what happens to somebody, depending on certain religious doctrines, you go to hell if you commit suicide. I haven't found that to be true in my education, and my mentorship, and my looking at history of writings. It's about the progression of soul, right? One of our principles as a spiritualist is the seventh principle. And the seventh principle talks about eternal progress open to every human soul. So if there's progress open to eternal soul, if you commit suicide, then you're not progressing, right? But to go back and sit in a pit of hell for eternity, just it never made sense to me, right? It just didn't resonate with me. And there's a great book. What is her name? I share a lot of stuff. I get a lot of stuff that passes through me with downloads and connections. And I just shared this perspective of suicide with my development group. And there's a great book. I'll look it up for you here while we're doing this. But we talk about suicide. We talk about horrible people in history. Like, did Hitler go to hell? Most people would say, I hope so, for what he did, right? Or mass murderers or serial killers, those type of people. But if progression is open to every soul, it's really like you get to come back and learn and redo, I guess. So so her name is Dolores Cannon, and she covered this heartbreaking topic between death and life. That's the name of the book, Between Death and Life. And sometimes we are too optimistic about the life lessons we can squeeze into one lifetime. Sometimes when people get extremely overwhelmed with the struggles in their own life, they feel death is the only way out. But suicides, I don't believe, go to hell. I don't believe people, because I believe everybody is born with ethics and morality, and it's true life, our life choices that can turn us to make the wrong choices, the ones that hurt others, the ones that will have that karmic energy. And what she says here, as she explains in the book, the suicide is paid back by working out these problems and hanging in there and being viable and living to a ripe old age and having a good, well-rounded life. It may take several lives like this to pay back the suicide and to help balance the karma. You can get on the right track by working out the problems that you gave up on before. A suicide must face the same situation and problem again until they can learn it and accept a way of solving it. Then they can never run away from it. And that's Dolores Cannon who wrote that. And again, the book is called Between Death and Life. And I've always liked that perspective because it's like, yeah, you can get out of this life early, but you're going to have to come back and repeat, and move to the end of the line. You don't get to cut in line because you didn't live your life, fully out. And so that's interesting to me, right? So the afterlife is really a place to reevaluate. If you ever seen the movie What Dreams May Come, fascinating movie, love that movie. I thought it was a great perspective on life after death, reincarnation, the choices we make, the people that we come into contact with and live through our physical lives. And so, explore that is what I'd recommend. Read books like, Between Death and Life. Get your perspectives, because you don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. And you don't have to believe everything religion teaches you, right? It's fallible, created by man, and we're always not going to be 100% perfect. But, when I do these metaphysical meetups, it's to challenge you to find the diamond within, but also find the diamonds that are out and around. And again, 3 eyes in life: 2 to look, 1 to see. Just because we don't see something doesn't mean it's not here. And already science has proven that time and time and time again. Microscope, telescope, the James Webb telescope that I personally believe has already found evidence of extraterrestrial life technology that's far superior. Think about our superiority and what we think we are as humans, the alpha species. We're not the alpha species that we think we are, but look at our technology, what we created. We've got thousands and thousands of, satellites out there, right? And we built a space station. So think about an advanced civilization that is 1,000 years ahead of us. They're probably going to have something around their planet that they are harvesting the energy from the planet, the resources of the planet, which would allow us to see them with our James Webb telescope. And there's a lot of rumblings going on about whistleblowers, called the something constellation. Whistleblowers come out to say that we have been collecting this material for years, which I totally know that. I work for the federal government. The federal government is not transparent. I can say that after 23 years. They're not going to tell us. It's going to have to come out through crowdsourcing, full disclosure. But, if there is a species out there that we can detect and they're far superior than us and far advanced than us, do they move through the universe the same way that we would think of the concept of rocket fuel and a rocket? Probably not. They probably have already figured out how to bend space and time, the theory of relativity, and that would change their makeup or they would have technology that would allow them to do that protects the body. So again, spirit can also be a non-human entity, not just the spirit of who we are, right? And so when you decarnate, you move from physical to decarnate. It refers specifically to that the spirit, the soul, the essence of who you are, has detached from the physical body and it exists in a non-physical state. So, we're in a physical state. We were born, reincarnated. We have a low vibration. We go through life. We decarnate, we die, and then the vibration moves on. So you don't remember being born, right? So I don't know if it's the same with death. I think we all hope to have an easy death, but at the same time, will we remember that pain or that how we died? I don't know, but it's fascinating. So, hey, y'all, I know you're coming to the waiting room. If you want to wait in the waiting room, that's fine. I'll get to you, but I appreciate your patience. But today on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc, we're talking about just ghosts and spirits and afterlife, and it's, getting close to Halloween and a lot of fear-based energy around this stuff, guys. But I don't find, in my experiences of working directly with people that have passed over, and you can go read my Google account, you can go to marclainhart.com, read the testimonies. They don't come through with a fear-based energy. They're not here to scare me. They're not here to frighten me. They don't move with that fear energy. That's the earth-based fear, ego consciousness of our perspective. And it's always from a place of humbleness, gratitude, love, support, guidance. That's what I find very fascinating. But yet we have Hollywood movies that scare the shit out of us, right? So how do we connect from the physical world? So a ghost often connects, like I said, to specific places and can manifest in the physical world based on like a residual energy. But if you interact with a ghost and there's no interaction, then it's just a record playing. You're picking up on that loop. Now, if you say hi, spirit, or hi, ghost, hi, Mr. Ghost, and the lady in white turns and says, hi, Marc, how are you? She is not a ghost. She is an intelligent, spiritual, decarnated soul that is now interacting with me through a vibration, which is vocal cords, or maybe she's connecting here through my clairvoyance or clairsentience. But you can connect that way. So that's the difference between a ghost. It's just residual energy based on location and events. The spirit can exist in both the physical and the non-physical realms, not necessarily tied to a location. That's where mediumship comes into play. And, like Nancy was saying earlier, there is a lot of teachers out there. And I would say if you're interested in learning about not just mediumship, but all of what encompasses mediumship, find a find a teacher or tutor that you align to, but also has had the experience, has had the mentorship, has had the education. It doesn't have to be me, that's fine. But I have really learned a lot and have grown a lot. Like I said, I feel like I'm still a child. I've been doing this for almost 2 decades, in the wisdom and the knowledge of what it is that I do. But at the same time, it's really not for entertainment purposes. I mean, that's not what mediumship is about. And there's a lot of people out there that do it for a lot of money, entertainment, but there's also people out there that do it to help. I get such satisfaction when somebody does a testimonial saying how it helped them on their journey or their healing or forgiveness or just knowing that their loved one is okay. That's the cool thing about doing the work that I do. But I agree with you, Nancy. I do, if you're still watching. So the ghost is often connected to specific locations and events. The spirit world, or the spirit, can exist both physically and non-physically and is not necessarily tied to a location and or an event. The afterlife, it represents a separate realm from the state of existence beyond this physical world. And we know from just science that the brain can receive in 12 different frequencies and dimensions. If you don't believe that what I'm saying, go do your own prospecting for yourself, just like I do. When I hear something like, really, I'm gonna go check that out. I'm gonna go prospect and see if that's. And there's actually this is my here. You can actually like take a table and put sand on it, right? And then you can connect the table to a high frequency in hertz. And you can do the frequency of hertz and it hits the table and the table's vibrating. So think of this as like vibrating and there's sand on it or salt. And when you tune it to a certain frequency, you can see sacred geometry come, perfect squares, perfect circles, perfect triangles, all very much like the lotus flower back here, based on a vibration. And so string theory, multidimensional theory has been fascinating to me because again, it's just sand, but if I apply a frequency to it, it becomes sacred geometry, right? Just like the voice is just, if I don't know how to communicate, I would just do a lot of grunting. If I didn't have an intelligence of, words and communication, I just like, right? Because it's a vibration. But we've evolved to where the vibration becomes words and communications and connection, which I find very, very fascinating. So, just food for thought. As far as the afterlife goes, it represents a separate realm or state of existence beyond the physical world, is how I would describe that. The purpose, often, I find often that the purpose based on the ghost is often believed to be seeking some sort of closure or resolution or trying to communicate with the living. But again, if they're not communicating with you, it might just be that residual loop of energy playing, like she's waiting on the cliffs, waiting for her love to return that never did, right? And that could go on forever. But that doesn't mean that she's suffering in hell, that she's suffering there. That's just a residual energy that the land or event captured. She, as a soul, moved on, right? So the spirit can often serve various purposes, I found, including guidance, protection, and simply existing without a specific mission. As far as protection, when I was researching this, I don't know if you need to protect. I haven't had that negative experience yet with a spirit entity. And I know we talk about, the good and the light, the balance, duality, angels, demons. I just choose not to focus in on that. And I'm not to say that it's not there. I just choose not to have any participation, subscriptions to any of that. And I stay in the light and I focus on the light. But, a lot of times if you are having a negative experience, your focus determines your reality. Is it you? Is it your, I did when I was first in my career, I had a few dark, but a lot of it was based on my belief systems and what I was taught to believe in movies I'd watched. And once I changed that perspective, it was all about love and light. So, but protection, I kind of teeter, like, what do you need protection from? Because the universal law, unless they're physically, harming you in some way, the universal law applies in that. And I don't find that protection necessarily. It's like somebody, charging thousands of dollars to come in and clean your, move the spirits out, right? We have movies that talk about that, move the spirits out. And it's like, I don't believe I have that power to do that. I believe that it's based on free will and choice. And I'm definitely not going to charge somebody thousands of dollars. I can come and do a house clearing based on vibration, based on sound, based on saging, moving, very Native American and indigenous cultures, moving energy out. But as far as moving a soul over to the other side, I don't believe I have that power, if you will, right? Because it's free will and choice. But you can, that's a topic that's going to be debated for years to come. I don't know where I lie with the whole protection thing, because I haven't found the spirit world to be scary or be protected from, right? And that may change. We'll stay tuned. Wait, watch, and witness, as I always say. Wait, watch, witness, right? But as far as the connection and the purpose, the afterlife, it's seen as a place for rest. It's seen as a place for reward. It's also seen as a place of punishment. I don't know if it's the hell punishment. It might just be like you're going to need more extra studies while you're over there to, let's say you're a bad person or serial killer or commit suicide. I think that's all about progression and learning, and like, hey, guess what? You got to come back and do it again. So, it's really, for me, the afterlife, heaven, Summerland, whatever you want to call it. For me, it's all about spiritual growth, depending on your belief systems too, right? Your belief systems play a big part of your spiritual growth. But for me, it's more of rest, reflection, rejuvenation, being revived, learning from this life, and then choosing, do I want to reincarnate? Do I want to stay where I'm at for a while? Because time is not a thing there, right? Time is only a construct created by humans based on a planet going around the sun, right? That's why we have 24-hour period, 12-hour time constructs, because of the planet, right? So interesting. That's why a year is 365, right? So think about that. So again, the purpose for the decarnated, once you go from incarnate to decarnate, it's focused really on your spiritual evolution. It's learning, it's integrating into the spiritual realm. I've now had the opportunity to work with the plant medicine on several occasions, and we have integration after the plant medicine ceremonies. So I've been integrating for this last year, and my life is transformed because of it. I'm a full believer now in it, and it has transformed my life significantly. And that's part of the integration, to learn something new and to go above yourself, bigger than yourself. As far as any kind of emotional attachments, ghosts often exhibit strong emotional ties, like I said, to specific memories, specific places, and sometimes specific people. So when you're being haunted, they're not haunting you. They're just wanting to they have a strong emotional tie to you. Whereas the spirit person may or may not have emotional attachments. They might be more fluid and variable in nature of your connections. Like when I'm a medium and I connect to somebody and I bring their essence and their love and their memories through and become the storyteller for them, it's not that they're not taking over my body. Why would they? Why would they? They're like, been there, done that, got that t-shirt, don't want to do that again. So, but I can become aware of their vibration. I can become aware of their love and their consciousness. And, it's not an emotional attachment. Now I can feel the emotions come through me through the clairvoyance, the clairsentience, and all the different clairs. But that doesn't mean that their emotion becomes my emotion. I'm just the medium sharing the emotion and the channel for the person that needs to hear that emotional response or that emotional evidence. And sometimes it's very left field, like, okay, I'm going to say this. I hope you understand this, because it has no meaning to me, but this is what they're showing me. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's what, usually, not all times, it doesn't hit all times, but again, I don't know a medium that's 100% right either, right? Because we are fallible as humans and we have our own perspectives in this thing called ego and the mind, that when information flows through, what comes through this side, game of telephone, that doesn't necessarily pop out this side, right? So, but spirits, again, they may or may not have spiritual or emotional attachments, but I find it to be more fluid in a sharing of information and guidance. The afterlife is generally viewed as a state beyond the emotional attachments, though interpretations may vary. Again, everything that we have here, ego, jealousy, anger, envy, once we decarnate, that stays in this third dimensional construct of the physical world, because you've now evolved in a different way, and you're not going to take the same behaviors and the same lessons that you have here in the physical world as you go to that spiritual world or the afterlife. So as far as the decarnated, usually that's typically free from any earthly emotions, focusing, like I said, instead on a higher spiritual understanding, a progression open to all souls. That's our seventh principle as a spiritualist. As far as manifesting, ghosts can appear as apparitions, sounds. It can be, again, tied to specific places, specific memories, specific events, but they can manifest in the phenomenon has been recorded in the physical world. Gettysburg is a great one for actually, I remember seeing ghosts after my Coast Guard, my first station. Then I went to Yorktown, Virginia for A school training to become a firefighter, damage controlman. And I would see ghosts walking because there was huge civil war during the, not civil war, Revolutionary War. That's where the war with England ended, was in Yorktown, Virginia. So it's got a lot of history, and that land holds a lot of history. So a lot of phenomenon around that area as well. But the spirit may not manifest visibly. Again, it becomes more subjective here versus objective here in the physical world. But is often seen through feelings, emotions, intuition, spiritual experiences. What I teach on is the signs, the symbols, the synergy, and the synchronicities, which Einstein always said synchronicities were God's way of remaining anonymous, if you will. But in the afterlife, it's not a physical entity, so it's usually viewed as a conceptual space or a state of being after you leave this. Is how I would define the afterlife, Summerland, heaven, whatever your perspective may be. As far as the decarnated goes, it exists in that same realm and may be perceived through spiritual practices, usually done through ceremonies, through nature, through drumming, through chanting, through meditation, through yoga, through qigong. These are ways that this can manifest as well, rather than, again, it's more of that spiritual experience or practices rather than the physical manifestations as far as the decarnate goes. As far as cultural interpretations, ghosts commonly are featured in folklore and ghost stories and have for history past, often viewed with fear and curiosity. I would say change that perspective because you're being educated on what a ghost is compared to a spirit. The spirit is found in various spiritual and religious contexts, has for many, many thousands of years. And it's often viewed positively as guides and or protectors or people to help you on your journey. I have a huge spiritual entourage, that help me with the work that I do. As far as the afterlife, again, there's a very diverse interpretation across cultures based on where you were raised, what you were taught to believe by your parents, which includes heaven, which includes hell, which includes reincarnation, and which also includes other spiritual realms. As far as decarnated goes, it's less commonly discussed, but it's understood in some spiritual traditions as a necessary step in our spiritual evolution. Again, that spiritual progression open to every soul, is what the spiritualists believe. And again, it's the progression. At the end of this life, you progress on because the energy has to go somewhere, y'all. Physics doesn't change. So the duration of it, ghosts may linger indefinitely until certain conditions are either met or resolved. And that's where you get people coming in saying they can clear out ghosts with, they have the power to do that. And it's like, it's usually not a power based on a human will. So it's usually based on an energy. It's based on sage. It's based on something to do with nature to move something forward versus the vanity of a human being think they have that power. As far as the duration goes, for the spirit, it exists continuously. It's regardless of physical death. We always say that physical death, Ram Dass teaches that we're not physically born. This is the labor. This is what we're doing right now is the womb of our experiences, and then death is actually a very beautiful next experience that allows you to progress on, right? But as far as it goes, there's really no time for that. It's more based on former state of your transition when it comes to duration of the spirit being around you. And again, this can also include non-human entities. So don't just think human, right? It's a big universe out there, y'all. But as far as the spirit goes, I'm sorry, the afterlife, it represents a permanent or semi-permanent existence after death, depending on the beliefs about the reincarnation or eternal life. So you have to, we're all going to the same place, death and taxes, but we all have different perspectives of what that may be. As far as the decarnate, it just suggests that it's a transition that's not permanent. Spirits may eventually reincarnate back and or evolve further, right? And how do you evolve? You come to life, learn it from experience. That's how this all works. All right, so we're almost done. Communication. Ghosts often communicate with the living, sometimes resulting in hauntings or that phenomenon of haunting, where the spirit can communicate through intuition, through dreams, through spiritual mediums, without the need for physical manifestation, because they can use my voice, my vibration. That's really all that becomes. And it's a very uncomfortable position to be in, especially from an analytical, reasoning mind, right? And that's how, that's why I had to unlearn and learn everything about mediumship, is because you're giving stuff and you're like, is that the spirit person or is that my imagination, right? So being a spiritual medium, giving these communications, when I go into a reading, heck yeah, I'm nervous because I want to, it's not about getting it right or wrong. I just want to represent the person that's trying to come through and get the right relationship and the right memories and the right evidence for that person, right? Because I'm the medium that connects the physical to the decarnated afterlife, right? So for me, being a spiritual medium, again, is not something that I raised my hand and set out to do. And I remember my mentor, one of my mentors who's now in the spirit world, she was mentored by a very well-known UK Gordon Higginson, and he always talked about that many were called to do this. And it's kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, Nancy. There's many called to do this, but few are chosen. And like I said, I wasn't called to this. I was chosen to do this based on my experiences. But again, not forced upon me. Free will and choice always plays a part. That's your greatest power, why you're here in the incarnate, in life, to learn it from experience, and then decarnate to go to your next soul adventure. That's my perspective. As far as communications, the afterlife, it's not typically associated with direct communications. It's usually a state of existence. The afterlife and heaven usually comes through our dreams or through free writing or mirror gazing or fire gazing. That's where you can really connect to that afterlife, if you will. If you don't know what mirror gazing is or fire gazing, it's ways, tools that we can use nature to see portals. Mirrors are a great example. There was a reason mirrors were outlawed during the medieval times and covered with sheath because they were believed to be portals, which I do believe they are portals to other dimensions, if you will, or other constructs or state of being, if you will. As far as the decarnate, many communicate through spiritual insights or influence, but does not interact in the physical sense. They don't have a physical sense, so they have no reason to possess me, right? And that's where Hollywood really comes in with the possessions of people. So as far as existence, ghosts are considered to have a temporary or unstable existence, often linked to unresolved issues, events, or locations. As far as the spirit, it's seen as a more stable entity capable of existing in multiple realms simultaneously. As far as the afterlife, it's really more of a defined state of being that encompasses various forms of existence after death. And of course, the decarnated aspect represents a specific phase of existence after death focused on spiritual growth and progression. That's the decarnated. So if you hear that word decarnated, incarnated, I die, decarnate, soul, energy, vibration, auric field moves on. As far as the belief systems, this is really going to just depend. Ghosts are commonly acknowledged in most popular cultures and folklore from around the world and have been for thousands of years. But it's often seen as supernatural. I get that phenomenon, kind of like with UFOs, UAPs, extra dimensional beings, the phenomenon. The spirit is recognized across many spiritual and religious traditions, including my own as a spiritualist, often viewed in a very positive light, uplifting light, loving light, not fear-based. The afterlife, it's usually central to many religious cultures and philosophies. Again, the afterlife, heaven, hell, whatever you want to call it, right? It's this hub based on, it's like one record is the afterlife, and there's, on a record you can have many different songs, or on a CD many different songs, right? Or on an album, right? The album is the afterlife, but you can have 12 different songs, 12 different beliefs, right? But it's often focusing on the shaping the belief systems about morality, about death, and about the existence after death. That's what the afterlife definition I would give for you on that. And then finally, when it comes to the decarnated belief systems, it's more specific to more spiritual philosophies that I've come to write about and learn about and educate myself about. But again, it's focusing more as a decarnated soul. It's more about focusing on the soul after the physical existence. And again, going back to the seventh principle that I work with is eternal progress open to every soul. And I got a strong feeling now that I've talked about this. This will come up in one of my divine services, or I'm doing a divine service next week. Got a couple coming up, and usually the topic coordinates just like this topic today. Ghosts. What's the difference between ghosts, spirits, the afterlife, decarnated? What does all that mean? Well, hopefully you've enjoyed that perspective, if you will. And again, I love to come on here and connect with you. It's all about community. From a metaphysical standpoint, and learn and grow and transform together. Again, we can agree to disagree. We can always do that respectfully. And just because it's my perspective doesn't have to be your perspective, but we can lay it out and have a debate and philosophize about it. I've just had a lot of experiences, and that's why I share what I share. as the Intuitive Prospector with you today here on the Facebook page. So we're going to get ready for some readings. I know a couple of you are have been patiently wanting to come in. I'm going to set up just, I'm going to take just a quick second, get a little bit of my coffee because I've been talking. And I'll be right back here in about 2 minutes. Just kind of get again, change my focus because I was in a teaching mode of ghosts, spirits, afterlife, decarnated. Now what I need to do is shift my energy, shift my focus, change my mindset to where I can work and be open to receive information to help you on your journey. So I hope you'll enjoy this song. This is called The Ripple Effect by Spence Quality, and I'll be right back in just about a minute or so. So if you want to come in the Zoom room will be open. The link is there. You can call my phone, business line, or you can start to post comments. If you want a card reading, a book reading, or you just have a question on the journey, what's going on, hopefully I can help you out. Hopefully I'm the right person for you to find that diamond within, or that diamond that's all around us. And if not, there's many people out there. There's many fish in the sea, I guess. So, all right, so let's share this out. And we will be right back after this brief break.
It's really that simple. Everything we do leaves a ripple. It's really that simple. Everything we do leaves a ripple. A ripple in time that turns to a wave. You either surf it or it crashes down. Choose your adventure, cause eventually you're ashes. So I live for my passions. Ain't no life passing me by. I'm all about action. We can talk about it later when we feel the effects, cause they were lasting. Putting in the work now, so later we can kick back. I ain't got no 401k, just a click track. Making something out of nothing, and that something gives back. Residual energy, call that the feedback. Loop it up and make a new arrangement, then bump that to infinity and back to the present, where we put it on wax so we can deliver the message to the people tuning in on the earbuds, or if they hear it on the speakers in the big club. These days it's rare to hear something unique. Copycats copying copycats and sounding weak. I'm here to leave an impression, cause it seems the rap scene is in a depression. It's really that simple. Everything we do leaves a ripple. It's really that simple. Everything we do leaves a ripple. It's really that simple. Everything we do leaves a ripple. It's really that simple. Everything we do leaves a ripple. Smooth as glass, perfect reflection, placid. Had to shake it up, change the perception. Laughing instead of crying and complaining, control the emotions. Even when it's raining, the grass is growing, and I'm knowing that it takes hardship to build character. That's why I'm breathing it in, don't need an air filter. Building up resistance, immune to the garbage. Sticking to my heart, that's the life of an artist. Hardest thing I've done is stay true to it. A lot of cats fall off, don't follow through with it. I try to not get lost when I'm looking for myself. The moral compass guides us to find the true north. Stick to the path, I stay on course. Of course I lost my way a couple times to find my voice. Now that I found it, I'ma use it, make some noise. Better yet, some music so our souls can rejoice.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. That was Ripple Effect by Spence Quality. So that's part of my sound collection here on Meta, approved music to use on my shows. All my podcasts are royalty-free, trademark-free. If you want, at the top of the hour, you can go over to my YouTube channel and catch the next show over my YouTube channel if you have not yet subscribed. But we're open now, so I'll open up the Zoom space. If you want to call me on my business line, 206-588-0661. I've got the cards ready and all shuffled. Let's see, we got Nancy coming in. Let's admit her. Good to talk to my friend Nancy, see what she's doing in life. Again, when you come in, please turn your volume down or turn the show down just so we don't get that reverberation and feedback if you don't mind. It's really hard to talk when I'm hearing my echo or myself. So we'll give Nancy a second to come in, see what's going on in her world. Tara, good morning to you. Good morning to my subscribers. Thanks for being here. Okay, so let's get over to the page. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Mark.
How are you, my friend?
Hanging in there.
And there, what's new? What's shaking?
Well, I had a procedure done on my neck, and it didn't work, and so I'm going to be going up to Mayo to try another thing.
Okay.
But
like what kind of? Do you mind me asking what kind of? For
it
your
was
neck, that's a very sensitive area, right? C7.
No, it's up here. It's like
Oh, it's above your
at the
C7.
very top. Yeah, it's a C1, C2.
Okay.
It says
Yeah.
the very
So,
top.
so
Yeah.
serious area though. See, the whole C series is very, you don't want to mess around with that stuff, right? You want to
No, yeah, it's near the brain stem, so you have to be careful. Yeah, so I've been dealing with this for 8 months now,
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
and it didn't. We've tried everything; it didn't work, and so I'm going to Mayo. We're gonna try something else. So,
Well, if it's okay with you, can I add you to my healing circle?
oh yeah, sure, absolutely, yeah.
So we believe, and we talk about this in group, we talk about holding space for another.
Mm-hmm.
What was done for me in my surgery, I had a lot of just awesome people and my tribe members and my students and my clients just holding space because I do believe in the power of thought and community and connection.
Yeah.
Many hands make easy work, and distant healing. We talk about distant healing a lot. So I'll make sure to add you to the healing circle that we do every Wednesday in our group for people like yourself.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, I worked with a guy from England at one point, healer, and I actually had to go in for a procedure with my heart, and I asked for help with that, and I was aware of that help the whole time. It was dramatically, it was dramatic. Yeah. So I certainly believe it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but you don't get there overnight, right? You have to have these experiences that challenges your belief system, that challenges your ego, that challenges your, oh, is that real? And it took me many, many years to really overcome that, what you're saying, to where now I'm offering healings. Like tomorrow, this weekend, I'm back doing, my readings, but in conjunction to my readings, I'm now offering healings. Now, with that said, that caveat is I don't heal people. Like me as a person, I don't heal another person, but I believe that we can be conduits and channels to allow energy and vibration frequency to move through us to that person if they're open to receive, and to alter that frequency, to alter that energy, to alter that, vibration, if you will, that allows you to, Carl Sagan talked about the future of medicine a lot about being energy, frequency, vibration, and actually not cutting into people, but using those therapies to heal. And I believe that's what mediums do as well, is we're the medium that allows, but I'm very careful about, like, I'm going to heal you, Nancy. I don't believe that. I believe that I can be a tool or a conduit to help energy flow through the portal or the gateway to allow you to experience that awareness, to, accept that. But yeah, so I'm very mindful when it comes to that. I'm not this.
Oh, absolutely. I totally.
Healer,
we're
right?
on the same page with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes through,
Yeah, it's a channel. It comes through, and I'm surrendering to something bigger myself to allow that to pass.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like you were saying about mediums. I totally agree with you. There's a lot of mediums out there now just, wanting to teach. But again, where's their intent, right? I see a lot of people teaching because they want to get paid, right? It's become a paid gig. And it's like, no, it's mediumship is a marathon, not a sprint.
Right.
And years and years of sitting in the power, years and years of mentoring, writing papers. And I still feel like I've just barely got into the surface of what all of this is.
And it's a real spiritual journey. I mean, you go through, it is not easy.
No, not at all. Do you think the caterpillar, when it's going through the whole deliquefying stage of the cocoon, is like, hey, this is great, guys. Hey, I'm literally liquefying, so I can liquefying to the butterfly and emerge from the cocoon. But the cocoon is the struggle, right? The cocoon is the metamorphosis of transformation. And if you're going through awakening, whether you're at the beginning of it, the middle of it, well, I don't know if you're ever at the end of it, because the end of it is
Right. No. Yeah.
incarnation and back into, you know,
Yeah.
spirit, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I agree with you, because there's just a lot of it's become more of an entertainment vanity avenue from what I've
A,
seen.
and a job.
In a
Like,
job, right? And I never
yeah.
wanted this to be my job. And even though that I'm
No.
now retired, I still don't want this to be my job. I don't want to be
Right.
dependent on finances to be like, oh, I got to go charge people. And I still have a hard time charging people. That's why I have my manager take care of all that, because I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, hey, here's if you want my time, that's what it really is. My greatest commodity is my time. If you want time to try to prospect for what you're looking for, then that's what you're paying for. You're not paying for me to be right or wrong, or pay me to be a medium. And there's just a lot of people out there. But I think the reason we're seeing that, Nancy, is we're seeing a transformation of moving from a three-dimensional construct
Hmm.
into a fourth dimensional construct. So let me, you know what, I think I have the slide. Let me share that real quick since I've got you on, because I think this is a great, bear with me here. I got to just switch over. Let me see if I can share this. Got to do this one. Bear with me. And I think for everybody that's following along, it'll give perspective to what I'm saying, because I think that's why we see so much chaos and upheaval, and people are trying to figure out like what is going on with our society. And I think a lot of it's because we're transforming into a new way of consciousness, a new way of thinking. um
Yep.
I put it? Um, I'm so organized, Nancy, that I'm disorganized. There we go. I got it under dimension. I've got a bunch of different folders with a bunch of different topics. So let me see if that should come up now. So what I'm talking about, and see, and just kind of look this over and see if you agree or not agree with this, but ascension of consciousness, right now, we're in this 3D. We're right here. We're in the 3D. Ego association, service to self, polarization, label, separatism, control, rule, status, materialism, hard working. How we were raised in a generation, if you work hard, then you get the benefits of working hard, right?
Hmm.
Today's society, not so much, right? More linear thinking, fear lowering emissions, fear-based programming, cause and effect, victim mentality. See a lot of that in this 3D construct. And what's happening, because things are breaking down, institutions are breaking down, beliefs are breaking down. Religion, I believe religion's at the lowest percentage as far as followers go that it's ever been, as far as
Wow.
measurement. So now we start moving into this 4D construct, where a lot of us that have awakened to or been aware to, we get this, more of a conscious being, expanding consciousness, challenging the old belief systems, comparison of duality, and still seeking those answers that we all have questions for, right? That deeper understanding, the structures of awareness, more compassion, aligning with who we are as a human, as with our purpose, synchronicities, flexible reality, faster manifestation. And then if you're really open and really awakened and really ascending, where I feel like I've been skirting this 5D with my plant medicine experiences, you know, aligning with the divine. Now you don't have to use
Hmm.
plant medicine to align with the divine, but for me, that was the gateway. That was the bridge that helped me with that unity consciousness that we see here in the 5D. So, more abundance, more source information, unconditional sharing, co-creation, effortless light, ease, universal knowledge. That's what I think is what we're seeing from a conscious level of 3D to 4D, but you don't just get there, right? Not everybody's like kumbaya. It's like, hey, let's go. There's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of ego. It's like, and I think that's what we're witnessing is a transformation. Now, with that said, let's add artificial intelligence to it. Let's add robotics to it. Let's add that we're not alone in the universe to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Universe, are we even alone on this planet? There's so many aspects of this planet we have yet to discover and research. We always see the planet Earth with the front side of all the landmass, but if you go to around the back side of the planet, it's all water. You're talking hundreds, millions of miles of water that have never been, researched, never been discovered or explored. We know more about our moon than the 10 to 15% we do about our planet, which is 70% water. And how do we know that dinosaurs 65 million years ago, after they got wiped out by an asteroid, didn't go interior to the Earth and evolve from there? We don't know that, right? But scientists
Right.
are theorizing that there is an inner Earth. There's a lot of movies made, Lord of the Rings, the inner Earth. There's a lot of storytelling, a lot of folklore where, Bigfoot comes from Middle Earth. There's just all these things that go history past. And it just makes you wonder, maybe we're not as alpha as we think we are. And that's going to be a paradigm change for people when they realize, oh, wait, we are not alone. We are not who we think we are. And that's going
Yeah.
to change everything from philosophy to religion to spirituality to medicine, right? Like if they have technology that could fix your neck in a matter of 5 seconds or fix my back in, a matter of a minute, wow, that would be
Yeah.
that'd be quite the progression of consciousness, right?
You know what? I understand exactly what you're talking about because I've been writing about this for years and getting information about it for years. And it's hard being having your foot in the fifth and everybody else in the third. It's a tough place to be, but um, it's an honor to be there, and it's. I'm glad to be able to know someone like you who has a lot of integrity. That's important, and who has the same experience that I've been having and the same knowledge coming in that I'm getting. And it helps me feel so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah, it helps me
if it
feel
was
so much
easy,
better.
right? If this was easy, everybody would be doing it because that's human, right?
Right.
But I heard somebody say, I don't know if I read it somewhere, but they said some people are put in our path to show us what not evolving looks like, right? And so
Oh, yeah.
for those of us that are choosing to evolve, to go to that 5D, but then look back in the 3D and find ourselves being pulled back to that, it's a hard place to be. But I'd rather do that and have it be hard than be easy in a group think kind of format and just kind of go with the herd, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I for many years of my life, I did that. And then after, the tragedies and the trauma and the TNT that blew up my life, I became
Yeah.
different from that. So integrity does play a big part in this. Um, but again, the caterpillar does not become the butterfly without the severe struggle and deliquefying and reliquefying and metamorphosis of something. And I don't think it's any different with humans, but at the same time, it's hard to have caterpillar speak with butterfly people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hard to be butterfly speak with caterpillar people, right? So it's that same,
Right.
they're not lesser. They just choose not to evolve and stay in their lane and stay with their belief systems. And we see a lot of that, right? We see a lot, especially in America right now. I call it the ENC effect. And people go, what is the ENC? Especially, I don't get into politics, but the ENC for me is there's a lot of emperor's new clothes out there. There's a lot of
Oh,
new clothes, especially in the
yeah.
political world, regardless of who you support or where you lie and who you vote for. There's a lot of ENC going on with people just
Yeah.
even the emperor's new clothes. Oh yeah, he's butt naked, but man, he looks good in those gold shimmery robes. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what gold shimmery? I don't see gold shimmery robes. I see a very uh, disorganized, dysfunctional person, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so I call it the ENC now. It's no different from politics. There's people too that will follow blindly based on a religious doctrine or philosophy, and it's the
Right.
ENC technique, right? It's the ENC of you're just going to follow it blindly without challenging. And again, no judgment on the people for everybody watching. This isn't judgment on you. This is where you choose to be, which is in that three-dimensional construct versus some of us that have chose to go 4D and even into the 5D. And that's where you're talking about that awakening being very uncomfortable because the things
Yeah.
around you drastically and some of the friendships you had, some of the family members that you had relationships, those change as well.
Oh, yeah. And,
So,
I don't think of people, as you say, in the 3D as being lesser. It's
right,
just part of the whole.
right.
It's just another view of the whole. And I don't feel like I chose to go farther. I think I came in that way already. I can remember just when I was little going, I wish I could just be normal.
Yeah. Well, when this started happening, trust me, when I first started talking about this publicly and with my family and my friends, yeah, I just wanted to be normal. I did not,
Yeah,
like I said, I was not like raising my hands like, hey, pick me, pick me. It's
right.
right. Many are called to do this. And
Yeah,
we talked about, I mean, there's a lot of mediums that are teaching, but don't have the experiences, don't have the mentorship, don't have the education to support their teachings that they're doing. But we see that
yeah,
a lot of stuff, right? You could
yeah,
go be a psychic and get one psychic reading and hang your shingle and say I'm a professional psychic, or in the business world, real estate, that's just human nature, right?
yeah.
uh, but Yeah, it's definitely an interesting journey. I hope that you write and publish your book, even if you self-publish it, because I think that's always
Yeah,
important to share that
I'm
perspective.
working on it.
Okay,
Working on it.
keep going. And I hope that, like I said, we'll add you to the healing circle and we'll hold space for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
This will get, and that's an interesting part of the region of the body from a spiritual standpoint, because we talk about right behind the neck here, the 3 points of connection, right? That is
Oh,
pineal gland in the brain. There's that 3 point process here in a spiritual philosophy sense that you're having that area worked on. So maybe that's part of your awakening process too. It's literally physically changing through surgery, through medicine,
oh,
right? Think about that.
that's interesting. You
Yeah,
know
it's the
what? The thing about you, you've studied so much. You just really learn all the time. You're always getting, that's really,
always.
that's really great.
Well, and just healthcare for 25 years, just understand the
Yeah.
body, sports medicine, human performance, just understanding how we work. But again, the brainstem, it's interesting to me that you're having a procedure done because the first one didn't work, but it goes back to Einstein. Einstein always said that the brain, this 3 pound on average brain that we all have, is one of the most complex organisms in the universe, right? And
Oh,
where does the
yeah.
it sits within the skull, it sits within the temples, it sits within the brain stem, right? That connects. And so it's just yeah, it's a very the human body is very fascinating from a metaphysical spiritual standpoint. And again, this is only temporary, right? This is a temporary construct that eventually
Right.
move on. So just for I got a few other people waiting, but what
Yeah.
can I do just to help you on your journey today? You want a card? Do you want just some inspiration? You want a book read? What do you want? What's
Oh, just whatever I most need to know right now.
so really what I what just I'm going to use the intuition right here for that question. What I just keep hearing is just be in that present moment in the breath. The two simple, it's almost less is more. And the things that we look for, that we try to grasp, is actually
Yeah.
right here at the heart. And
Oh,
that's really
sure.
like, okay, practice the pause, be present, even if in pain. Be present to your pain, because pain is progression, and what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I definitely, now that you talk about education, I can speak to that specifically. But what I would say to you, Nancy, is breath and presence, breath and presence. And the more present you are, the less energy you're focused on what the future, and again, the surgery and the procedure that's coming, because you're focused there, but it's not yet here. So
Yeah.
keep your mind to that present moment to help with the journey of your health, is what I would say.
Yeah. And the
Feeling.
keeping the past out.
Oh yeah. Forget the past, can't change it anyway. So the ego is really good, because the ego is scared of transformation. The ego is scared of death. So it tries to, the ego is very powerful. So it gets us to try to think to the past or think to the future. And we forget that the power is in the presence. And Eckhart Tolle has written about this several times and teaches on this. Be in the present moment, because that's where you plant seeds of transformation, is right now, to hopefully grant you the future that you want to have, which your future for me would be to be healthy and to be happy and to not be in pain, right?
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
a psychic to know that, right? It's like that's
Right.
just your health is pretty well. So we'll definitely be holding space for you, my friend. Thank you for
Great.
coming, chatting with me, and follow
Thank
up. Let me know
you.
how you're doing, okay? And we'll hold space.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my
Good to
friend. You
hear
take care.
you.
All right.
Okay.
Many
Bye
blessings.
bye.
Bye, Nancy. Okay. So let's
Do I need to leave?
yeah, I'll put you in the waiting room, or I'll just
Okay.
so
Okay.
I got you. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. So I've known Nancy for many years, and again, that's what we can do. We can have conversations, we can hold space for others, and I believe that as we move from a three-dimensional construct into a fourth-dimensional way of being, that's where the kindness is, that's where the compassion is, that's where support is and community is. Because again, a lot of us that are living in this world today, we see the chaos, we see the technology evolution, which we're having a hard time keeping up with, right? Just the mindset, right? And that's transformation. That is change, right? So it's like, the AI, I'm watching a lot on this artificial intelligence, and they said the AI is equivalent to what the Industrial Revolution was back for humans. And if you remember the Industrial Revolution from history, that's where we started, the steam, the vehicles, from horse and buggy to a motorized concept, usually through, great physical transformation and stuff, creating steel and iron and moving and making these things. AI is going to be that same industrial revolution concept, but of the mind, but of philosophy, of conceptualizing consciousness, of those questions that we've long been asking and maybe finally getting the answers to. That is what AI and artificial intelligence will do. And again, if we learn that we're not alone in the universe, which I have been, if you follow my work as an experiencer myself in my days in the U.S. Coast Guard, I call it the drip, drip, drip format, where this continuously drips out. And I'm seeing a lot of rumblings with the James Webb that it picked up some sort of Dyson sphere that shows that they're now we would not be able to get to that planet based on our current technology. But if we're seeing something that there's a planet, and these Dyson spheres are saying that an advanced civilization would harness the power of its own planet, and we're seeing something like that, that tells us that the universe is much more intelligent and wiser and older and more vast. It's literally just so big, it's just hard to comprehend. And then you have to think, is that just a one-dimensional construct? If you ever watch the movie Interstellar, watch that. That'll give you perspective on the theory of relativity and time and age and distance. So some good stuff. All right, so let's get to your readings. Hi, Jason. Hi, Rafe. Good to see you. Good morning to Tara. Good morning, Alma. Thanks for coming in, Nancy. Good morning to Katie. How are you? Insightful, informative talk today. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Good morning to my mom. Good Friday morning. Dawn, hello to you. Shelly, hello to you. Matt Johnson, hello. Hi, Alec Kozak. Lee Jones, good morning. Deborah Cole, hello. Rafe, good morning, Mark. Can you pull a card for me? You bet. Let's get you on deck. Rafe, again, the Zoom room is open. The link is there with my team. We had a couple comments that my team had to hide. Please don't come in and post comments about promoting others or trying to promote your own site. You're gonna get your message hidden. You're gonna get blocked out of the community. So don't do that. Go to my site for a more accurate reading. This is not about accuracy. This is about connection and community. You're missing the concept of what we're trying to do here. So don't do that, because my team is watching your comments and they will remove you from the community and block your comments and report you to Facebook for spam. And it's no different than calling in on a phone with a spam call. So don't do that is what I'd say. So Rafe, you're up. And then anybody else, if you want to call in, the number's out there. If my team can grab the Zoom link, if you want to come in, I'd love to chat with you on Zoom. You can give me a call at my business line, and then or ask a comment like Rafe just did to get a card. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Mark. Good to see everybody. Thanks for being here, y'all. Rafe, so you know how this works. Pick a number 1 through 14. I got 14 different decks right here to my right. We can work with cards. You can ask me to pull a book read if you want me to do a book read for you, or even just my own intuition if you have a question. But what happens is we're now working at the quantum digital transformation connection. What we're doing, like it'd be no different if you were sitting right here. You're just here digitally, right? So I want you to either pick oh, you said pull a card. So pick a deck for 1 through 14. Once you give me that number, I'll shuffle it on my end, and you'll type in stop in the comments, hit enter, and that's a card that you'll choose based on me just being the shuffler, if you will. So Rafe, what card deck would you like? 1 through 14, because this helps prospect to your message of what you're searching for, right? That diamond within or the diamond that's all around us. So Rafe is up, and then if anybody else wants a reading, this is where we're at, and then I'll shut down. But today we're talking about ghosts, spirits, the afterlife, and the decarnated souls, and what those explanations are and those definitions are. I hope you enjoyed that, because it is a very fascinating topic that I could just spend hours on. So I hope you enjoyed that. And then I just got notification. If you're not on my YouTube channel yet, go to marclainhart.com, click on the subscriptions page, and you can click on my YouTube channel and join the almost 25,000 prospectors on the YouTube channel. So we're getting ready to go at 12 o'clock. In a half hour, my other show will broadcast over on my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures. So I hope you enjoy that. So Rafe, are you still on, my friend? That lets me know that you're still on watching the show too. So deck 1 through 14, or if anybody else has a question, maybe Rafe dropped off, but it shows that you're interacting versus just dropping in to get a free reading, right? Like didn't pay attention to the message, not really participate in the community, which that tells me a lot that you're just looking for free readings. And I'm usually, you're not going to get the free reading because usually you're going to get bumped by my top fans, my subscribers, my star senders. So people that are participating in the community and really want to make a difference in their lives based on what is seen and what is unseen. So Rafe, are you still on, my friend? We're open for readings. Zoom room link is out there. Just scroll up in the comment section, or if my team can grab that if anybody's asking. You can call me at 206-588-0661. That is my business line here that will ring here live into the studio, or you can comment in the comment section if you have a question for me and what you would like to do. And then again, I'll be at the Conscious Wellness Expo and Gem Show tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. My normal booth where I've been for years. I just wasn't here this spring because of my surgery. And then on Saturday, same thing, from 10 to 5 p.m. I'll be doing readings. I'll be doing healings. I'll just be doing conversations too, right? So my book will be for sale there if you want to get my book. If you want to buy, I'm gonna after we're done, I'm gonna be making up a new batch of Lavender Love, which is my aromatherapy that you can use for many different things. I'll just spray it right now. So I'll be making up a batch, and so that'll be for sale if you want to buy just some, aromatherapy, or eventually, hopefully, I'll design my own deck of cards. That's been something. Now that I have more time, I've designed more. I want to design more clothing. I want to do like a spiritual deck. I'm working on my second book. I've just been so wrapped up on paperwork for retirement. It's been crazy. So music, of course, more plant medicine. So more events, more experience the etheric. If you're interested in learning about the etheric and how that works and to experience it and everything I'm talking about, you can go right here to marclainhart.com and book a reading, a mentor session. And then eventually I will put together another workshop. But that workshop is this weekend if you want to. If you want to visit me or even just wave at me from a distance if I'm busy. So I'm usually pretty busy. So, okay. So I am not seeing any more comments. Thanks for joining me today. Rafe, are you still on? Rafe, 11. Okay, sorry. Bear with me. There was a lag in the comment section. My apologies. So number 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The allow. So you got the I allow deck. Let me catch them in the comments. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Venslav. Venslav? Am I saying that? Salev. I apologize if I'm messing up your name. Hi, Arthur Green. You can't see Rapey said 11. Yeah, there was a lag in the comments, so I do see it now. So I got the I allow deck. Hi, Russell. Hi, Lou. What's going on, Lou? Rayvex, hello to you. Elizabeth, hello to you. Xavier, how are you, my friend? All right. I hope you're doing well. Gordon, hello. Hi, Sabrina. All right. So, Rafe, when you hear the word stop in your mind, we'll put that intention. This is the I allow deck. Hi, Patricia. Thanks for being here. We're doing readings live, so you can come to the Zoom room, call me, or comment. All right, so Rafe, when you hear the word stop, type it out, hit enter. Hey, JP, what's going on? Hi, Lou. So when you hear the word stop, Rafe, type it in, hit enter, and that's the card we pick. So I'm shuffling down below. I'm off camera, but I'm shuffling the deck. So this helps with the alignment of the connection and what you're looking for as well. I'm just the fingers moving the cards, really. But the message is, remember, it's not what you want, it's what you need. Hey, Ted. Thanks for being here. So I think my comments are catching up now. There was a little bit of a lag, but I'm seeing I'm seeing people come in. So whenever you're ready, Rafe, give you about 10 seconds. The Growing Intuitive. I love that name. Hi, the Growing Intuitive. Nice to meet you. I'm the Intuitive Prospector, and again, together we're growing, right? Always growing, always transforming, always learning, always moving forward, right? Never back. All right, Rafe. Let me know, brother. Hopefully the comments aren't delayed. Again, these are the parameters of, social media. Hello. Always, yes. So Rafe, you might be delayed, so I'll just keep shuffling until I see stop. So hit stop. There we go. Thanks, brother. All right. So that just helps with the alignment based on free will and choice, because again, the journey and the responsibility, one of the principles that I follow is personal responsibility. It's a fifth principle as a spiritualist that I follow. And what that does is it gives you that permission to choose out of 14 decks. You chose 11, which is a spiritual number. It's the teaching moment. And then the card itself is I allow myself to dream. I allow myself to dream. I allow myself to dream. Now, the owl up here represents, and I had a great experience with owls during my plant medicine. There was 2 owls that were just going at it for like 15 minutes. They was so cool. I taped it. But the owl, Rafe, represents wisdom and guidance and knowledge. It also represents surrender to something bigger than yourself. So there's a point in here in your life. I don't know if you record your dreams or write your dreams down, but I always tell people, write your dreams down, get a dream journal, because that's a lot of guidance in those messages. Whether you remember or not, sometimes just write down how you feel when you wake up. Like this morning, I woke up just exhausted. I did not want to get up and do my meditation. I did not want to get up and get the physical journey going. So I was probably dreaming pretty exclusively, but I don't remember it. And so I just write down, pretty tired today, must have had an experience. But if you allow yourself to dream, not just dreaming when in the sleep state, when the mind is more active asleep than it is awake, but also what dreams you may want to do in the physical state. It just feels to me, Rafe, like it's time for a change for you. Like you've been thinking, I don't know if this is career or relationship, but it feels like it's time to make a change and go into a new direction. And sometimes that's what age does for all of us, right? Age brings wisdom and knowledge, and through that we hopefully can reach that enlightenment stage. But as the Buddha reminds us, not only do we got to let that shit go, but the Buddha reminds us even after enlightenment we have to go back to tending the garden, right? So does that make sense, Rafe? If you can just comment in the section below, just let me know. Hey Susan, hey Jolie, hello Dorothy, hi Robin, hi Jackie, Celeste, hello to you. All right, so any other questions, go ahead and post them in. Zoom link is out. If you want the Zoom link, just ask for it. My team will try to get that to you. If you want to come in live in the Zoom room, it's open. Have a conversation. Happy to help you. I've been hearing owls the last 2 nights in a row. Yeah, see, it's cool, right? Like the experience that I had with my plant medicine, it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, I just hear this. I mean, it was like a whole orchestra. And then about 100 yards off in the distance, I could hear the one responding. And at first, I was kind of, from a physical human perspective, I was kind of upset because I'm like, I'm trying to sleep. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm in your arena. I'm in your environment. Who am I to, be upset about not getting my sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning when you two are having a natural conversation? But it was a really cool experience. I recorded it. And that's, the interaction with the owls, especially in plant medicine, is very, very, frogs too. I had a lot of experience with frogs, bugs, owls, a lot of connection with nature this time with the plant medicine. So it was very interesting. But if that makes sense, Ray, apply that. Allow yourself to dream and get a dream journal and start to write, because some of your messages, when the ancients spill their secrets, sometimes it comes through the dreamscape, and there might be some messages that you're missing, that you've been asking about the whole time because you're not writing them down. So that's what I would say. Hi, Danielle. So anybody else? Zoom link is there. If you want to call my business line, 206-588-0661. You can come in the Zoom room. You can ask a question in the chat below. You can also visit me here at marclainhart.com if you want to learn about my journey, what I'm doing. If you want to visit my development group, or you want to listen to the podcast, or get the book, or check out my latest articles. There's a lot there on the website. If you want to schedule a healing session, I'm now doing sound baths, and we'll be doing that tomorrow as well, as part of not just readings, but also healings for people if they need that. Again, I don't heal people. I'm just a channel to allow healing to move through me to you. So I hope that's, hi, Vincenzo. Okay, so last call. Denise, hello to you. Again, you can go over to my YouTube channel right now. You can just go to the events page at marclainhart.com, click on the subscription tab. There's everything from Insight Timer to the podcast, to the YouTube channel, to Learn It Live. There's a lot of different channels. My Patreon prospectors, if you want to subscribe and become a member and get more insight stuff that's not out here in the public, especially with my Diamonds Hub subscribers. A couple of you are on, so good to see you. We'll have our Diamonds Fridays, Diamond Days, which is the first Friday of every month. On November 1st will be the Diamonds Days, and that's where you can come in and have readings with me for free, instead of booking on the first Friday of every month, called Diamond Days, and that's for my subscribers only. Diamonds Hub and Patreon prospectors, and good way to get some guidance and get some healing, get some mentorship, get some meditations. Everybody's different. So all right. Hi Flip. Hi Lynn. Hi God. Sunam. Hello Sunam. So all right. So welcome to Metaphysical Meetup with Marc. We're live here Fridays, most Fridays, unless I'm traveling or technology issues. You're welcome, Ray. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Enjoy the journey. Carpe diem, right? We try to be here on Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here in Seattle, Washington. And then my YouTube channel will be airing right after this at 12 p.m. Pacific. So if you're not yet joined the 24,000 plus spiritual prospectors in search of your own gold, in search of your own diamond, and the many diamonds that are all around us, both what is seen and what is unseen, make sure to visit that YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button, or hit the subscribe button here for the Intuitive Prospector page. Share it out, contribute to it, subscribe to it. It's $4.99 for my Diamonds Hub, and then my Patreon is just based on levels of membership or what you want to get out. But I will be back on the air. I'm writing the show up right now for the Wednesday, the 23rd, October. Can't believe we're already halfway through. Geez. And we're going to be talking about the Dyson spheres, the Drake equation, and Earth 2.0. So I'm putting all that information together because it's just fascinating to me, and what we're learning and what our technology is showing. What is science showing us? What AI is going to show us, right? Science, there's always a debate on science, and it's like, um, science is truth up to that point. Science tells us what we need to know, but science will always be changing based on, we're always changing. We're always, new concepts, the laws of physics. As a spiritualist, we always say, as spiritualists, we already know what physics hasn't yet caught up to. When you start talking about string theory, vibration, multidimensional, the theory of relativity, time and space, right? And sometimes that's hard to grasp. It took me many years and many papers and mentorship and education and traveling to different, workshops to understand what it means to go from a three-dimensional construct into a fourth-dimensional construct. That's why we see so much chaos today. It's like a two-dimensional construct is a fish in water. The fish just knows it needs to be in water, but it doesn't think, therefore it is not conscious of itself. We as humans, we are in a third-dimensional construct, but we think, therefore we are, but we're now challenging the status quo, pushing past that. Oh, we think we know, but do we really know, right? And are we the only intelligent species on the planet? The way we treat ourselves and we treat our planet, I would debate that, to be honest with you, because a higher evolved being, a higher vibration being, would not do what we are doing as humans to each other, to other countries, to the planet. You don't see the whales doing that. You don't see the octopus doing that. You don't see the dolphins doing that. And that tells me just a higher form of evolution. And some would argue with that. That's fine. But, violence and destruction is a very low form of vibration. And just wait in our roaring 20s. You don't have to take my word at it now, but if you followed my podcast, you followed my journey, I've said within the roaring 20s, which I've got another 6 years, we're in 2024, I've got another 6 years to bring to light that we are not alone in the universe, that we are not the alpha species that we think we are, and that there is other higher intelligent beings, whether in this dimension or extra dimensional, again, spiritual, because that's non-human entities, that can be part of that vibration and energy, but still energy, because everything is energy. And when that comes to light, that's going to be very mind opening for those of us that have been prepared for it. And it's going to be very disturbing for those that are very closed minded and closed off. Again, the ENC, the Emperor's New Clothes concept. That's what I keep calling it. So, hey, Rocco. Hey, Marcus. Hey, Liz. Hey, Sally. Samantha, Joe. How are you, my friend? David Bowers. Hello. Hi, Judy Young. Kyle Glean. Is it Glean? Glenn? Sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm just giving you shout outs. Again, big shout out to my subscribers. Thanks for following the journey. I hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Practice the pause, get into that present moment, put the past behind you, let it go. Don't worry about the future. The future will take care of itself. The way knows the way, as we like to say. Hey, Tamara. So any other last requests for readings? We're going to start closing down because one, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet. I usually don't eat before I start, lecturing and teaching and then reading. But if you want to stop by the Conscious Wellness Expo and Gem Show, I'll be there tomorrow, and Saturday the 20th. I'm sorry, Saturday the 19th, and Saturday the 20th. I'll be there giving healings and readings and consults, and but I'm not speaking this year, so I didn't get my paperwork. And I usually do a demonstration of mediumship and some sort of metaphysical chat, but with the surgery, I didn't have the bandwidth to do it. So, likewise, Nancy, have a great rest of your day. Hi, Aunt Deb. Wish I lived closer. I know, Samantha, but maybe one day, right? Maybe one day. Emmanuel, hello to you. Morris, hello to you. All right. Any other questions? Any other requests? Zoom room is open. Telephone line is open, or you can comment in the comment section if you want a reading. Intuition, book, cards. Last call. Last call. Last call. Because I have to go downstairs and make a new batch of lavender love. And I've got I got to put all my stuff. You can kind of see I'm getting all my handouts ready and get for my booth ready. So it ends up being a lot of work at the end of the day, but I enjoy it, and it's nice to be back out and involved in the community and seeing people and working with people. So okay, I'm not seeing any other requests coming in. Let me just hit the refresh real quick. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. Have a great rest of your Friday. Have a lovely weekend. Hope to see you at the Conscious Wellness Expo here at Kent, Washington. The Kent Commons. It's free. If you've never been to it, check it out. It's actually a lot of fun, and I hope to see you there. Hi, Deborah. Again, my YouTube show will be airing here in about 15 minutes if you want to go check that out. And then I'll see you next week, I guess. So what's a closing song? Hey, Tammy, thanks for being here. Let's find a fun song to close with. I have a whole good vibes. I wonder what that's on. Good vibes. Let's see here. Let me play that real quick. Let me try it out. Good vibes. Upbeat. I have so much Flight of the Bumblebee. That's always fun. Morning song. Just hello right now. Ooh, this might be good right now. Yeah, we'll close with that because right now, right here, it's all you ever have, y'all. So don't forget that. Carpe diem, seize the day, because we don't know what tomorrow brings, and it's never guaranteed. And you can't do anything about the past. So, all right. Hey, Mark. Hey, Linda. Hey, Tammy. Hey, Charlene. All right. So I'll be back next Friday, which will be the 25th of October as we get ready for Halloween, the end of October. But I'll be here, and we'll have the podcast on the 23rd. If you want to tune into that, I'm going to be talking about the Dyson spheres, Earth 2.0, and the Drake equation, in alignment with what I was talking about today. But today's topic was all about breaking down the differences between a ghost, a spirit, the afterlife, and what it means to be decarnated, incarnated versus decarnated, some of those spiritual concepts and philosophies. So, hey, Nicole, hey, Al, thanks for being here. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. And again, just you can always work with me in the future at marclainhart.com or internet search the Intuitive Prospector, and I will come out, or will come up. So, all right, well, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you next time here on the Intuitive Prospector Facebook page. You can always follow me at the social medias here at marclainhart.com if you want. And keep journeying, keep moving forward. Happy prospecting, as I like to say. And I like to close with whatever I do, whether it's a podcast, a book, a show. Be kind, be caring, be compassionate for one another, especially in our world. We need it. And most importantly, wherever you're at in the world, whatever you're doing, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. And I hope you discover that diamond within. We'll see you next time here on Metaphysical Meetup with Marc Live. Take care. Namaste.
Yeah. Yeah. Way too risky, way too fly, too pimpsy. Wait, don't miss me. Wait, not understand your clash. I came through bind up, left out bags. I ain't too fond of the fakes. Grass ain't got no snakes. Everything trim, I'm sliding on days. Everything him, I'm trying to be great, but I fall back quick. Ride, pop off, go in, slide. Electric Tesla, move in silence, better get blessed up. I ain't impressed when you talk about what you gon' do, boy, you gon' have to back it. Really ain't doing no back and forth. Only thing I know is action. Right now. 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 Who is you? Who is you? What you gon' do? What you gon' do? Who is you? Who is you? What you gon' do? What you gon' do? Doing my thing, ducking the drugs. Flew out to Houston for white gold slugs. Cop a little something to wet to the
One
function.
planet, 7.3 billion people,
Oh yeah, and
only
I got
one
flavors.
you.
House on the
Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, Radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream. Dare to explore. Dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.